The sales form, as the name implies, it has everything to do with sales. So we can put in a customer name, the email address. This one produces a button which opens automatically your default email program. So if you have to make a quick email to this particular customer, just click on this button, it'll open it up, puts in the email there, and then you can type and do your thing. I don't do this for now. Here you can enter all the customer related information, and then you have a couple of various subforms. You may have a contact you want to put in here. Let's say you want to put a new one. You have to choose, and this is really something you have to remember, choose a number which is not present here right now because you're going to fill up a new one. And from previous tutorials you notice that also then if it's not in that list, it will open up an extra menu and you can create your data in here. So if we want to make a new one, let's say we call this guy Paul from this particular company, it's my contact, and let's give him also an email address, and maybe he's in purchasing. Then I can X out here and I can choose from this list, and I'll take my Paul, and it automatically put the information in here. And obviously you can add more to it. Then you have the specific inquiry subform. In the specific inquiry subform, we need to stay a little bit longer because it is a very complex form which gives you a lot of options and helps you a lot in narrowing down what your customers want. Obviously, the information which is now popping up here is the entire inventory listing I have to offer, which has been derived from this inventory search form. We have been scratching this in another tutorial, how to enter data and what options you may have. But the more you enter in here, obviously they will come in here as well. Currently I'm showing 1491 offers in here. Okay, this customer is now interested in something. Let's say he would be interested in the brand name Dornier. This has been produced by or tested in the textile industry, so I'm using names, processing requests, and processing types and other information from the textile industry. So let's say a typical inquiry would be the brand name, it would be a shedding motion, it would be maybe the width, and it would probably be the year. And I may copy and paste it also from emails they sent us. And I can then say, okay, let's put it in the brand name here. And let's put the processing type in there. And also I want to use the year for the year. And I want to put the width. Now, in this case, I chose to put always width related in the char field, which is here character field, char or character field. So this particular field will filter after this. This particular field will filter after year. Not everywhere I put in the year, but this is also not only these Dornier related. Let's click in this and see what happened. We need to click in the subform and it generates for us a little filter. As I mentioned before, everything yellowish, beige colored is a filter for us, and every filter is an add-on filter, which means it filters after this brand name, it filters after this processing type, it filters after this, and whatever I have been putting in here before. In this case, I see there are 2 offers I have, and there you see the 1996 pops up here as the year, and there in the character I see the 190. It goes strictly digit by digit by digit. So if I were to put only 99, which you can also do, then that increases our options, in this case by 1 offer. If I go 1900, obviously we should show more. So this is how this works. You don't have to do the exact match, but I always start slow. I start just like, give me a little bit more options to choose from. Sometimes the customer can allow a different year as well. That is a little bit, you have to get experience with and make use of your experience. Now I've decided I don't want the 98s in here. So what I can do, I have a couple of options to send it to my customer. Let's say I only want to have these two offers sent to my customer. So I want to exclude this. What I can do is I can double click on here, and it gives me the option to append it, add it to another tab, which I will relate to in a second. I can exclude it, or I don't do anything at all. Right now I want to exclude this. So I have to confirm that, and it has been subtracting it from here. It will not ever come in this particular inquiry number 5 anymore. So future filters will not allow that one anymore. You'll see here everything is still empty, but look what's going to happen. I decide to send these two offers to my customer. I copy this email address, and I'm going to hit this button, send, and it will open up an email with a PDF with the information of these two offers in there. I will paste it. Let me have one more look in it. See the two offers, offer 1 and offer 2. It'll put the name of the customer. It'll put the customer ID. In our cases, is our 4th customer, and the inquiry number, number 5. It also puts what he has been asking for, or she, and on which date it's been inquired, today's date. Furthermore, it will put in, if there are pictures available, it will show a URL link where they can download the pictures. If there were no picture available, then obviously here it would say no pictures available. This is preset. We can change this URL address, because you may have a different URL address as I have. For sure you do, where you put the pictures on the internet where people can download it from by just clicking on this. So I'll show you in a second where you can change this as well, and it will change it in this report. For now, I've seen what I wanted to see. This is okay. I'm going to send this out to my customer and click here, and it will go. At the same time, once I have sent it, it will take it out of this system. If it doesn't do immediately, just clicking here and refresh, and basically it's taking it out. And what it automatically will do is puts it in here, in our next step, dealing with my customer, dealing with these numbers. Now what's really cool about it is that you may have 10, 20, 30 filtered items which are applicable to your customer, and they would all appear in this tab nicely and neat. You don't have to retype all of this, and it will not come up here anymore next time when you come back. I don't have a second one here in this, no second inquiry. If I want to put a second inquiry for my customer, I click this button here, which means put in a new one. And let's say this guy is interested in Picanol, and let's say he's interested in Jacquard machines in this case. And let me put Picanol and Jacquard here too. And Jacquard, I need to put this in. I misspelled it, but it's not really relevant for illustration purposes. And now it filters 12. Okay, I see there are so many, and my customer really wants, let's say, the 220 only, 220 centimeter. Then if I'm 100% sure of this, I'll do that. I'll click on 220 and that's it. That's it. Now I can send this the same way and it will disappear. Or if I don't want to send it yet and I want to just look at it later before I send it, I can append this. And it will also put it in this tab here, and there is your third offer now. Okay, but now if I'm not so sure, if I also want to look at others, let's see what else we've got here which we want to send. Or if I don't want them at all, I just decide to exclude them all, and it will exclude all these 11 records, and they don't pop up anymore. And it's not going to be attached here because we didn't want them. We did exclude them. So, but next time when I go back to this inquiry, it will not pop up. Only new information coming from this subform here, where I enter and add new items, it will then certainly pop up here if it meets these criteria. So this is really cool, because later on you can go and scroll through your customers who have been interested in certain products, and you can scroll them through and send really quick PDF files. Now, you may not like this here. You can change this, these labels. What you can do is you could go to Preferences, and you see these labels. They're pertaining to specific inquiries, and I may want to call it not brand name or textile. I may want to call this, let's say, main group, and this I may want to call it textile. Just see the difference. So let's see where it made these changes in this labels. I have to refresh it. Here's a refresh button. You'll see that here also. Refresh, and it should change here. There's my main group, that is, and textile. So it'll change. You can add, and it can change its keywords. Is additional keywords you can filter for. Let's make another one, and let's make it another example for. Let's take another brand name. Let's say we are interested in Sulzer, and let's see what comes up. It's going to be interesting. 87 offers. All right, now I'm interested now in everything which says 130 in the description bar. So I'm going to type in 130, refresh it by just clicking somewhere in subform, and everything which mentions 130 in here will pop up. 6 entries. Now, does it make sense? Sometimes, sometimes not. That really depends on you. You have to learn these filters. Now, let's say I want to go even further, and I say I want to have everything which says 130, and I allow anything in between that. I put a star, and I click 4. So now it'll search through this description column, and it's going to look for anything which says whatever it is before the 1 is acceptable, whatever is behind the 4 will be acceptable, whatever is between the 0 and the 4 will be acceptable. That's what the star means. Between those two is also acceptable. I click here, I had 6 entries, and it's been reduced to 4. See, it allowed the 130/4. What else does it allow? I can double click here, see the details, and if I see a 130 somewhere, here's the 130, and somewhere later on comes a 4, I'm sure. And that's the reason why I put it. So it does not always make perfectly sense to take the star. But what we could do is, we could say, let's say, well, let's force a digit or anything in between, and then it must be a 4. It must be a 4 right after that. You can do it with a question mark. Let's see what it does. So this means everything before is acceptable, everything behind this number is acceptable, and in between has to be anything, but we don't know what. And then after that, I know it's going to be a 4. And there's only 1 entry. So this is how you can work these with those, I think they're called wildcards. Question marks, there are pounds, there are stars. I will probably make another tutorial for that. Look out for that. There's also a little bit more explanation somewhere else in one of these question mark buttons, how to work with these wildcards. Not this particular one, but look for question marks. This is throughout the whole system, and I mentioned it also before. Everywhere where you have a question mark, there's either a little pop-up. Hold on, it doesn't pop up now that quick. Or you can open something behind it, and it does something for you. Here should be a pop-up. There it is, a little pop-up. And sometimes it's like a form, which you can click and it opens up. And it explains this form, what you can do with this form, how to operate with this, so you stay consistent. And this is how you can use these filters. And here are more keywords you can put in. These keywords and these keywords are also pertaining to this column. You can also exclude words and things the same way as you can include them. This is for the notes field, which is here. This is for the year, as we did describe. If we want to change this and we don't want to call it char, we go back to our preferences and let's call it width for now. Go in here, call it width. We'll save this. And by refreshing it, it should now go and change it to width. There it is. So it's more understandable for us, and obviously you need to play a little bit with it, but here a couple of more little hints. I allow the system to choose from today's date of offers till 3,650 days back. I can limit this. Let's do this. Let's create another offer. Right now I may leave it blank. I don't want to go too far, but right now I have 1,488 offers in there. Let's see what happens if I limit this by 50 days back from today's date. And it shows me only 556 offers now. What did it do? It took today's date and it takes the last update. 50 days back, nothing older than that. See, everything is 2013 now only. Oh, there's a 2012. Oh, that's because still within the 50 days. So it'll go only 50 days back and allows only those as a choice. Important for people who wants to keep this fresh and doesn't want to delete them out of the basic inventories. It will pre-filter that. And next time it should show up again. I go out, I go back to another previous inquiry, go back here and let's see. And it kept it in here. Also, the inquiry, note this is today's date, I put it in there, and I can add another date in here if I want to. It's just a little reminder. But this here will tell you also, I'm not going to go and allow any inquiries which are older than, in this case, 3,650 days, which is 10 years. I may want to limit that also. I may have a business where people say, okay, you don't have to offer me anything I've asked for 30 days ago. So what you can do is you can change this to 30 days and then it'll take that number. You can also put it in your preferences. So this way you can also keep your inquiries fresh. You can put the inquiry on a scheduler. If it is a very important inquiry, would you click this button and next time when you hit your scheduler, it'll come and pop up as an inquiry to be reminded of and work with.